everybody. Dr. Rick Wallace dropping in on you. I hope everybody is having an unbelievable week to this point. I hope that you are preparing to close your year out on a strong note. If you have been following the content that I have been leaving for you, you know that it is my desire and my goal to help you end this year on a strong note so that you go into 2022 with momentum and power. It's so important that you do that. I'm not going to be long today. I want to talk to you about what it takes to win, what it takes to win in life. I come across so many people who are simply meandering through what I call the maze of mediocrity. They are just doing whatever it takes that everyone else is doing, and they are achieving average. They are achieving mediocrity. They are by default simply existing. And because it's so many other people doing the same thing, there's a level of comfort that goes along with it. It's not necessarily a bad thing in today's society to be average. Average is acceptable, except for the fact that when you really truly examine the lives of people who are living average, you come to find out that there's a very low level of personal fulfillment, personal joy, personal happiness. They found a comfort zone, but they didn't find the reward that their soul is seeking. They didn't find what their heart's desires had set ablaze in them years and years earlier, things that they had set down and set aside because it required them to come out of that comfort zone that had become so warming and inviting. And so my whole thing is, if you want to truly live your life, there are some things you got to do. You've got to be, if you want to win at life, you've got to set a higher standard. You've got to set a new standard, a higher standard, something that challenges you, something that brings you out. I want everybody that's watching this video and everybody who will watch this video, I want you to think about in your ideal lifespan. How long do you want to live? You know, some people say, man, I don't want to live past 80. I don't want to, you know, some people say, man, I want to live to be 100. Whatever that number is, pick that number. Pick that number. If you're thinking, me, I want to live to be 100. You know, whether or not is not as important as, okay, that's what I see as my optimal space. That's why I want to live to be 100, because I still got so much I want to do. And I wake up every day doing it. But just say, all right, pick that number. Now take your current age and subtract it from that number. When you subtract your current age from the number that you would love to live to see, that age you would love to live to see, that tells you how many years you have left. What it should immediately bring to your attention is the fact that no one lives forever. You have a finite number of years left on this planet. Nobody knows what those years are or what the actual date would be. So it should really set a sense of urgency. What does that mean? You've got a limited amount of time on this planet to make your presence felt. You got a limited amount of time to walk your purpose, to live life at a level that literally leaves a legacy behind. You don't have an infinite amount of time. Stop wasting time procrastinating. Stop throwing away the thing that is immensely precious, the time that's been given to you to do something exceptional, the time that's been given to you to do something extraordinary, the time that's been given to you to do something phenomenal. Stop throwing it away. Stop wasting it. There are 86,400 seconds in each day. You're going to spend a large number of those seconds sleeping, because your body has to recuperate. Your brain needs to recover. So many things need to happen during the sleep process. So you're going to sleep. Then you have so much of, what are you doing? I'm not saying that every second that you're awake, it needs to be on the grind of what you're doing in business, what you're doing in finance. Some of that needs to be given to loving on your family, to loving on yourself, but it should have a purpose. You should give us every second of your day purpose. I'm going to spend this time in meditation and prayer. I'm going to spend this time uplifting the people in my household. I'm going to spend this time launching my day in my office or on my job, in my career, in my truck, wherever I do my job, wherever I do the thing that I'm passionate about or that I have to do to take care of my family. I'm going to spend this time doing this. I'm going to have a certain amount of time dedicated to this. And when I finish my day, I'm going to have spent myself, because I don't get that time back. I'm not going to sit up and hold on to it because it doesn't roll over like phone minutes and data. I've got to take the time that's in that day and use it, because once the day is spent, the time is gone. And I have to understand I only get to do this so many times in my life before it's over with. So when I look at what I want to do, I realize, and what I'm able to do at 54 is I'm able to sit up and go, you know what? I've got basically, if I get my desire and I live to be 100, I've got roughly 44 and 45 and some change before I hit 100. And what I can tell you at 54, how fast 54 went by. So it's not like I can look and say, man, that's 45. I know how fast 50 creeps up on you because I've lived it. I've seen what happens. I know every year when I look at, man, I just had a birthday. Here comes another one. It's not going to take long to get there. It's going to be what you do with the time on the way there that's going to truly matter. You've got to set the standard. You've got to stop sitting around and thinking that you can meander through life and you're going to have something great to leave behind, that you're going to have something great that speaks of you, that you will have lived and fulfilled life at the end of this journey. You want to be able to sit there. If you are a person who has the time to know your time is near and you're laying on your bed and your loved ones are around you, you want to be able to leave this place with a smile. And I've seen it happen, a smile. Why? Because I came, I saw, I conquered, I lived this life on full. And so I'm ready to leave this place on E. I've given it everything I have. I've walked it out. I've done it. I've made some unbelievably great choices. I made some poor decisions. But all in all, I brought everything I had and I left the world in a better place because of it. What I'm trying to get you to understand is life does not reward mediocrity. Life does not reward average. Life sits up and allows average to exist, but it doesn't reward it. Life rewards the one who raises their standards and sets an unbelievable standard. And what happens when you set a standard? When you set a standard, you immediately lower your tolerance. You lower your tolerance for excuses. You lower your tolerance for mediocre behavior. You lower your tolerance for being around unpurposed and inactive people. You lower your tolerance for procrastination, and you start to sit up and realize that there's something out there for you that you've got to go out and get, and you make up in your mind that there's absolutely nothing that's going to stop you from having it, and you go get it. You understand it's not going to be easy. You understand that there are going to be setbacks. You understand there are going to be problems. You understand all of the things that come with the challenge, but you're up for it. Why? Because you raise your standard. What does that mean? Raise your standard. What time am I getting out of bed now? You know, what will I learn every day? How much time am I committing to learning something new every day? What time am I getting out of bed in comparison to the people who are competing for the same market as me? If I'm out there trying to start my own business or to improve my business, what time am I getting up? How am I getting started? How much time am I spending in space with God as I see God and I work God? Not how somebody else is telling me to do it, but how much time am I spending in the place of peace and divine providence and divine communion with God? That's important. It should be at the beginning of the day. How often do I wake up in a state of gratitude? What will I demand of myself each and every day? Those are things you should have an answer for. You should know what your standard is. I will not be in the bed. Not going to be in the bed after 6:30 or 7 o'clock. It is not happening. That's sleeping in for me. Most of the time, I'm up before the alarm goes off at 4. I beat the alarm up almost every day. But that's my standard. I understand how important it is to start the day. I understand that it's easier to start the day if you wake up and start moving and setting your state before everybody else is moving around you, and you're dealing with all different types of emotions, all different types of attitudes, all different types of situations before you have to start putting out fires and everything else that comes along with running your own business or going to a job and executing your job wherever you're at and whatever you're doing. It requires you. I'm telling you, starting your day is so important. What time you start your day, how you start your day, and it sets the state of your emotions, your mental state. It determines your perspective. It determines how you're going to encounter the challenges that will absolutely take place. You're going to have challenges. You're not going to escape the challenges. The vicissitudes of life are going to roll into your paradise. Trust me, it's going to happen. But when you set your state, when you know who you are, when you are prepared to meet the challenge, you're not shaken by the shifts and the challenges of life that come. You're prepared for them. You're waiting on them. You know for certain that you're built for the battle. You get up and you go in and you do the things that have to be done. You make it up in your mind that absolutely nothing is going to stop you from being what you were designed to be. But this is the thing. You've got to make up in your mind that nothing's going to shake you free. Free from your commitment. You got to raise the standard. You want to win. You want to be a champion at life. You've got to raise the standard. You're going to raise the standard, and what's going to happen immediately? You're going to start to see, man, now your tolerance for all the crap that's going on around that produces nothing but mediocrity starts to irritate you. You're going to realize that there are some people that are going to have to fall off. You're going to have to be willing to make some sacrifices and let go of some things that are poor habits, and you're going to have to adopt some new things that are habits of empowerment. You're going to have to look at people around you and understand that they are not going to be able to go where you're going because their mindset doesn't match. You're going to have to be able to make those choices and sacrifices. And the way you do it is by setting a standard. When you set a standard, those who can rise to the level of operating within the standard will move along with you. Those who cannot will automatically fall off, but you've got to raise the standard. You can't operate and expect exceptional when you're moving in a circle of mediocrity. It is not going to happen. You're going to have to sit up and say, I know that you don't understand me. I know you don't think like I think. I understand that. I am not trying to get you to be something that you aren't. You have to make your choices when you do, but I've made my choice. I'm going to live life at the level of my design. Somewhere in eternity past, God thought enough of me to give me a destiny long before my parents ever knew that I was existed, long before I was ever conceived, that there was a purpose for my life. And I'm going to walk out the design. I'm going to live life at the level of my design. I refuse to upset and fail the design. I refuse to tell my creator, I don't want to walk in the purpose that you gave me. I don't want to live life at the level that you challenged me to live it at. I don't want to walk out and represent the possibilities of what it's like to walk in full power. I don't want to do that. I want to walk around and be mediocre. I want to be average like everybody else. I want to fit in. Stop fitting in. That doesn't produce anything. It's time to set a new standard. It's time to raise the level. It's time to let go of limiting beliefs. It's time to stop letting other people write the narrative of your life. It's time to stop living at the designations and assignments and labels that were given to you by minimal-minded people. It's time to start establishing in your mind, like I told you at the beginning, when you sit up and decide how long you want to live, that's a number. For me, it's 100. Whether I get there or not is really not that important because I won't know, not in the state that I am now. But what that does is if I'm shooting for 100, that tells me how I need to be eating, how much I need to be working out. And with me having had some health issues, that means there was a lot of things that I needed to get back to, because you're talking about a person that was healthy most of their life and then got off into this drive and got caught up in the work part of it, lost the balance. See, it's not just about the grind in one area. It's about the commitment in the entirety. I'm telling you, not because I'm perfect and I've done it well, but because I know the pitfalls that you could fall into, but I knew enough to correct. I didn't fall in it and stay in it. That's the only thing I tell you. You're going to fall. You're going to have situations. You're going to make mistakes. You're not going to get it all right. Life is about making the adjustments. But what I can tell you is if you decide you want to be 95, you got to take the age you are now, subtract it from 95. That's what you got left. Now, just think real quickly. How fast did you get to where you are now? Now, if you're like me, once you got past 18, it seemed like time sped up. And then when you got to 25, time took off. And it ain't stopped yet. It ain't slowed down yet. If that's how it was for you, it seemed like it took forever to get to 18. But when I got to 18, 25 came pretty quick. Then after 25, it just went to a whole nother level. So if you understand that, then you understand that even if you are 30 and you're saying you want to be 100, that 70 going to roll quick. Look how fast you got to 30. Just multiply that times 3. You're done. It's over. You don't get another shot. Finished. So what are you going to do? Live your life at the level of your design. Wake up every morning with a commitment to the Creator that you're going to do something exceptional, that you're going to do something extraordinary, that you're going to make your impact on this world. Do not wake up just coasting through life. You don't get that time back. That 86,400 seconds, it's gone. You never get it back again. That day is either used or wasted. You either had a 0 day, a 50 day, or a 100 day. And it's going to play out and it's going to show up at the end of your life. How many 0 days did you surrender? How many 50 days did you give? Or you got a bunch of 90s, 95s, and 100s up there? It's going to show in the outcome. I'm not trying to play catch up late in life. I'm giving it everything I got every morning I wake up. Because here's the thing, one morning I won't. And I don't know when that is. Even if I live to the desired time, that's limited. It's not forever. I don't have an infinite amount of time on this planet. The truth is tomorrow may not come. But I can be comfortable knowing I came, I saw, I conquered. I lived my life on full. I've lived a life that most people will never, ever experience. I've seen some hard lows, but I've seen a whole lot of highs. I've seen some hiccups, and I've even been flat on my back, but I realized that life can't keep me down, and that I got up, and that I recovered, and I walked out of it, and I recreated what everybody was celebrating that I lost. I'm trying to get you to understand. Life will pay whatever price you demand of it if you're willing to make the sacrifices. Raise your standard. Raise your standard of expectation, raise your standard of performance, raise your standard of commitment, raise your standard of walking in what you have been gifted to walk in. Stop just coasting because you're doing better than most. To be totally honest, if you look around, it don't take much to do better than most, but there's so much more of a demand on your design than just sitting up being better than most. That's good. You're not average, you're good. No, you were meant to be great. You were meant to be great. Get up and walk it out. Live that standard. Hey, I'm getting out of here. It's time for me to go. Real quickly, check the description box. I just received the rights back from a program I designed some years ago, and I sold the rights to it for 5 years. I just got it back about a month ago. I've been working on it, but it's called Crushing Limiting Beliefs. If you're being restricted, I tell people all the time, the only limits you have in your life are the ones that you accept with your mind. If you can get rid of those limiting beliefs, there's absolutely nothing that you can't accomplish. But you have to get rid of the limiting beliefs. This program is intensive, but it's self-paced. It's your program. You get it. It's you. And you work on it. And this program has over 13 lessons. It has an affirmation reel. It has a guide. It has so much to it. And it's right there in the description box. If you're looking to make a move, make a change, and you struggle with beliefs that hold you back, that Everybody in my family has always been poverty. Starting a business ain't easy. People fail at business more than they succeed. I'm not ready for this. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'll never ever get past this point. I'll only be this. Any of those limiting beliefs that have been pushed on you by minimal minded people, you're going to have to work hard to get rid of them because they have literally set root in your mind and in your thinking and in your thoughts. And remember, as a man thinks, so is he. So what is happening? You literally are living out the seeds that have been planted in you that create limitations, that stop you from striving and achieving just even a fraction of what you're capable of doing. You got to get rid of the limiting beliefs. If you're serious about it, this is one of those programs where you don't have to deal with me. I will make myself available via email for those who have questions as they move through the course. But this one is you. You pace yourself, you move through it, and it allowed me, because I'm not directly involved, to give it to you at an unbelievable cost, which is 70% cheaper than what they were selling it for. Um, the institution that I designed it for, and it did it purpose. It did its purpose. I designed it for them because they were going to present it to people that I would never come in contact with and never be able to help. And now I've helped people that I may never meet and may never come work with me. And that's what I want to do. And that happened for 5 years. They wanted it for another 5 years, but I wanted to bring it to people that I have a chance to share it with. And so here it is, the revised version of it, and you get a chance at it. So if you want to start experiencing life at a new level, you have to get rid of those limiting beliefs. That program is in there. On that note, look, as I always say, I live my life on full, which is what I've been talking to you about. I live my life on full. Doesn't mean I live my life perfectly. Doesn't mean I never make mistakes. It doesn't mean I don't experience heartache, setbacks, and anything that everybody. It just means that I bring it every single day, and the results show up. It doesn't matter what setbacks I have. They can't keep me back because I'm coming all day, every day. You know, anybody's trying to stop me is going to have to put in 100% overtime every day. And I don't know any enemies that committed, and the ones that are still can't stop destiny. So I'm good. On that note, you guys have an unbelievable day. Enjoy yourself. I'm out. Peace.